Yahushua, Joshua, chapter 12. And these are the sovereigns of the land whom the children of Yisrael smote, and whose land they possessed, beyond the Jordan, towards the sun rising, from the Wadi Arnon to Mount Hermon, and all the desert plain eastward. Sihon, sovereign of the Amorites, who dwelt in Heshbon, ruling from Aror, which is on the bank of the Wadi Arnon, from the middle of that wadi, and half Gilead, even as far as the Wadi Yabok, the border of the children of Ammon, and the desert plain, from the sea of Kinneroth, eastward as far as the sea of the Arava, the salt sea, the way to Beth Yeshimoth, and southward below the slopes of Pisgah, and the border of Og, sovereign of Bashan, who was of the remnant of the Rephaites who dwell at Ashtaroth and at Edrei, and ruled in Mount Hermon, and in Sulcah, and in all Bashan, as far as the border of the Geshurites and the Maacathites, and the half of Gilead, as far as the border of Sihon, sovereign of Heshbon. Moshe, the servant of Yahuah, and the children of Yisrael had smitten them. And Moshe, the servant of Yahuah, had given it as a possession to the Reubenites, and to the Gadites, and to half the tribe of Manasseh. And these are the sovereigns of the land which Yahushua and the children of Yisrael smote beyond the Jordan on the west, from Baal Gad in the valley of Lebanon, as far as Mount Chelek that goes up to Seir, which Yahushua gave to the tribes of Yisrael as a possession according to their divisions. In the mountain country, and in the low country, and in the desert plain, and in the slopes, and in the wilderness, and in the Negev, the Hittites, the Amorites, and the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. The sovereign of Jericho, 1. The sovereign of Ai, which is beside Bethel, 1. The sovereign of Jerusalem, 1. The sovereign of Hebron, 1. The sovereign of Yarmouth, 1. The sovereign of Lachish, 1. The sovereign of Eglon, 1. The sovereign of Gezer, 1. The sovereign of Debir, 1. The sovereign of Gedir, 1. The sovereign of Hormah, 1. The sovereign of Arad, 1. The sovereign of Livnah, 1. The sovereign of Adulam, 1. The sovereign of Mekadah, 1. The sovereign of Bethel, 1. The sovereign of Tepuah, 1. The sovereign of Chephir, 1. The sovereign of Ephek, 1. The sovereign of Sharon, 1. The sovereign of Medon, 1. The sovereign of Chezor, 1. The sovereign of Shimron Meron, 1. The sovereign of Ekshaph, 1. The sovereign of Teanak, 1. The sovereign of Megiddo, 1. The sovereign of Kedesh, 1. The sovereign of Yokneam in Carmel, 1. The sovereign of Dor in the heights of Dor, 1. The sovereign of the nations of Gilgal, 1. The sovereign of Tirzah, 1. 31 sovereigns in all. Yahushua, Joshua chapter 13. And Yahushua was old, advanced in years, and Yahuah said to him, You are old, advanced in years, and still much of the land remains to be possessed. This is the land that remains, all the districts of the Pelashites and all the Geshurites, from Shihor, which is in front of Mitzrayim, and up to the border of Ekron, northward, are considered as Canaanite, the 5 princes of the Pelashites, the Azathites, and the Ashdodites, the Eshkenolites, the Gittites, and the Ekronites, also the Ahites. On the south, all the land of the Canaanites, and Me'arah that belongs to the Sidonians as far as Aphek, to the border of the Amorites, and the land of the Gebalites, and all Lebanon, toward the sunrise, from Baal Gad below Mount Hermon, as far as the entrance to Hamath. All the inhabitants of the mountains from Lebanon, as far as Misrephoth Maim, and all the Sidonians. I myself drive them out from before the children of Yisrael, only divide it by lot to Yisrael as an inheritance, as I have commanded you. And now divide this land as an inheritance to the 9 tribes and half the tribe of Manasseh. With them the other half tribe, the Reubenites and the Gadites, received their inheritance, which Moshe had given them beyond the Jordan eastward, as Moshe the servant of Yahuah had given them, from Aror, which is on the bank of the Wadi Arnon, and the city that is in the middle of the wadi, and all the plain of Medeva, as far as Divon, and all the cities of Sihon, sovereign of the Amorites, who reigned in Heshbon, as far as the border of the children of Ammon, and Gilead, and the border of the Geshurites and of the Maacathites, and all Mount Hermon, and all Bashan, as far as Sulcah, all the reign of Og and Bashan, who reigned in Ashtaroth, and Edrei, who remained of the remnant of the Rephaites, for Moshe had smitten and dispossessed them. However, the children of Israel did not drive out the Geshurites nor the Maacathites, so the Geshurites and the Maacathites dwell in the midst of Israel to this day. Only to the tribe of Levi he gave no inheritance. The offerings made by fire to Yahuah Elohim of Israel were their inheritance, as he said to them. And Moshe gave to the tribe of the children of Reuven for their clans, and their border was from Aror, which is on the bank of the Wadi Arnon, and the city that is in the middle of the wadi, and all the plain of Medeva, Heshbon, and all its cities that are in the plain, Dibon, and Bemoth Baal, and Beith Baal Meon, and Yahzah, and Kedemoth, and Mephaath, and Kiriathaim, and Sibma, and Zereth Zechar, on the mountain of the valley, and Beth Peor, and the slopes of Pisgah, and Beth Yeshemoth, and all the cities of the tableland, and all the reign of Sihon, sovereign of the Amorites, who reigned in Heshbon, whom Moshe had smitten with the princes of Midian, Ewai, and Rechem, and Zur, and Hur, and Reva, princes of Sihon, dwelling in the land. And the sons of Yisrael killed with the sword Balaam, son of Beor, the diviner, among those who were killed by them. And the border of the children of Reuven was the bank of the Jordan. This was the inheritance of the children of Reuven for their clans, the cities and their villages. And Moshe gave to the tribe of Gad, to the children of Gad for their clans, and their border was Yazer, and all the cities of Gilead, and half the land of the children of Ammon, as far as Aror, which is before Rabbah, and from Heshbon to Ramath, Mizpah, and Bitunim, and from Machanaim to the border of Debir, and in the valley of Beit Hachram, and Beit Nimrah, and Sukkot, and Zephon, the rest of the reign of Sihon, sovereign of Heshbon, the Yarden being its border as far as the edge of the sea of Kinnereth, beyond the Yarden eastward. This is the inheritance of the children of Gad, for their clans, the cities and their villages. And Moshe gave to the half-tribe of Manasseh, and it was for half the tribe of the children of Manasseh for their clans, and their border was from Mechanaim, all Bashan, all the reign of Og, sovereign of Bashan, and all the small towns of Yair, which are in Bashan, 60 cities, and the half of Gilead, and Eshtaroth and Edrei, cities of the reign of Og and Bashan, were for the children of Machir, son of Manasseh, to the half of the children of Machir for their clans. These Moshe gave as an inheritance in the desert plains of Moab beyond the Yarden by Jericho eastward. But to the tribe of Levi, Moshe gave no inheritance. Yahuah, Elohim of Yisrael, he was their inheritance, as he had said to them. Yahushua, Joshua chapter 14. Now these the children of Yisrael inherited in the land of Canaan, which Eleazar the Kohen and Yahushua son of Nun, and the heads of the fathers of the tribes of the children of Yisrael caused them to inherit. Their inheritance was by lot, as Yahuah had commanded by the hand of Moshe, for the 9 tribes and the half-tribe. For Moshe had given the inheritance of the 2 tribes and the half-tribe beyond the Yarden, but to the Levites he gave no inheritance in their midst. For the children of Joseph had become 2 tribes, Manasseh and Ephraim, and they gave no part to the Levites in the land except cities to dwell in, with their open land for their livestock and their possessions. As Yahuah had commanded Moshe, so the children of Israel did, and they divided the land. And the children of Yehudah came to Yahushua in Gilgal, and Kaleb, son of Jephunneh, the Kenizzite, said to him, You know the word which Yahuah had said to Moshe, the man of Elohim, concerning you and me in Kadesh Barnea. I was 40 years old when Moshe, the servant of Yahuah, sent me from Kadesh Barnea to spy out the land, and I brought back word to him, as it was in my heart. But my brothers, who went up with me, made the heart of the people melt. But I followed Yahuah, my Elohim, completely. So Moshe swore on that day, saying, The land on which your foot has trodden is your inheritance and your children's forever, because you have followed Yahuah, my Elohim, completely. And now see, Yahuah has kept me alive, as he said, these 45 years since Yahuah spoke this word to Moshe while Yisrael walked in the wilderness. And now see, I am 85 years old today. Yet I am still as strong today as I was on the day that Moshe sent me. As my strength was then, so my strength is now for battle and for going out and for coming in. And now, give me this mountain of which Yahuah spoke in that day. For you heard in that day how the Anakim were there, and that the cities were great and walled. If Yahuah is with me, then I shall dispossess them, as Yahuah said. Yahushua then barak him and gave Hebron to Kaleb, son of Yefune, as an inheritance. So Hebron became the inheritance of Kaleb, son of Yefune, the Kenizzite, to this day, because he followed Yahuah Elohim of Yisrael completely. Now the name of Hebron was formerly Kiriath Arba, the greatest man among the Anakim. And the land had rest from fighting.